Hey guys, this is KFactor39 here. A lot of you guys have been asking me to go over my gear that I use in the rifles and ghillie suits that I use in my videos. So we're going to go over all the weapon systems I use and how I make my ghillie suits and prepare them for the field. So please make sure you give me a like and a subscribe for more videos like this one and more scope cams to come. And here we go. Okay guys, here is my sniper rifle. This is my Shadow Ops MB05. Right now this rifle is shooting stock. There are no upgrades to it whatsoever. It's shooting about 450, 460 FPS. The gram of BBs I use in it are 2.5s or 3.0s. Most of the time I'm using 3.0 BBs. And we'll go over the rifle here in a little bit more detail. Okay, so we'll start with the back of the rifle. I just have a little Nikon battery pack case that I put on the back. It holds my speed loader and my spare magazines. In the field I carry the 200 round speed loader and two 30 round magazines. Let's move up to the other end of the rifle. On top here you can see some of the Velcro on the scope. That's what I use my burlap strips on top to cover the camera that you see taking all the scope cam shots. I also got some burlap and some jute rope tied on right now. It's currently ghillied up for like a desert type environment. And on the front here of my rifle I have what's called a bird's nest, or I call it a honeycomb scope cover. All it is, let me get in there, is just some wire mesh I've cut out off an old pin holder, or you can find like a little older mesh wire fence, whatever works for you, and I've spray painted it. And I'll swap those out. It's to get rid of the scope glare and the big black circle that you don't want to have as a sniper. So every sniper needs a good secondary. So I have two that I mainly use. The first one I have is a 1911 gas blowback. Got this from CQB Russian, so thank you for that, Mr. Russian. This has been probably one of the best 1911 gas blowbacks I've ever had. It's a KJW, and it is a double stack magazine. Unlike most of the 1911s that you see are single stack. So this is a great CQB weapon that I use. And one I just recently picked up is a Double Eagle Mac 10. Get that logo in there. This has been a really awesome secondary weapon for me. I've recently had some mag issues with it, but other than that it's a electric AEG, and I usually wear that with a drop leg holster, and it's been a very good secondary for me. Comes with a 300 round high cap magazine, and you can go semi and full auto, so it's good to have this when they get too close for your sniper rifle. And last but not least, here's the little rubber knife I used in the last video. Basically I just cut down a regular rubber sized knife and wrapped electrical tape at the end and spray painted with silver spray paint. I made it shorter because it's easier to carry a smaller knife around than it is the normal standard K-bar and training knives that are around. I need less gear as possible, and I already take up more than I want to with my secondaries. So that's why I just have this little, it's more like a shiv than a knife, but it works. Okay, so a lot of you have been asking me about my ghillie suits and how I make them, and so I'm going to go over it real quick with you of how I've done mine. This is just what works for me. A lot of people do a lot of different things to make their own. First of all my ghillie suits are homemade, except for the Molly chest rig that I use to help blend myself, but I'll explain that later. So let's go over the ghillie suits, and I'll show you how it's done. I'll show you real quick. These are the pants that I've started on. These are just some tiger stripe or camouflage pants that I've picked up. And all I've done here is you take some scissors and you're going to snip the material very small. You're going to go a incision here and a incision here. And then you're going to run a zip tie through it in your burlap or jute rope that you have on. You're going to tie it to the zip tie, pull it tight, and then snip the zip tie right here. And it gives you a strong hold to the material, and it allows for this to stick onto the pants without it falling off. I've found that adding natural veg to pants is a little bit harder because it seems to fall off a little bit more. So I like to do a little bit more burlap and jute rope on the pant and leg areas. So, and of course, I've just worked my way all the way up. And these pants aren't done. When you get the ghillie suit, make sure that you get it dirty. Get a bucket of water and mud. Soak the pants and your jacket and your top, whatever you got for your ghillie suit, and soak it, make it really dirty, and then just lay it out to dry. Never wash it. The more beat up it is, the better it'll be, actually. Moving on to the top of my ghillie suit, I have a Condor Molly chest rig. Of course, I got my team patches on there, and then, you know, just some spare speed loader holsters and everything. That's the front of my suit that I wear. And on the back, I have this sewn up yarn. Actually, it's camouflage, normal camouflage yarn that I had crocheted for me into a hood. And then what I've done here is I've zip tied it onto the back of the Molly and then the contour loop on the back of the vest. So as you can see, I've ran some zip ties and zipped it to the vest itself. And then if I flip it over, as you can tell, the Molly's a little bit beat up. What I do before I go to the field is I go and grab natural vegetation, stick it through the Molly, and then I'll zip tie it on. Like here's a cut zip tie, for instance. I'll zip tie it on and then cut the ends off, and then the vegetation will sit all through this Molly here. And that's what gives me my camouflage look. I also have taken some spray paint and burlap and jute rope and gone through the hood and put it in various places. And that helps camouflage my head, and it goes right over the top to break up my body outline. So this works really, really well. I also zip tie it any bare places I have on this. You don't want to do too much because then you just look like a giant bushel of bushes. So just keep that in mind. But these work really, really well. So that's the hood I use, and just goes over like a hooded sweatshirt. And here I have my desert top jacket. It's all bare right here on the back because, of course, my Molly chest rig is going to be covering this bare space. I'm at the end towards the bottom. I've done more of the jute and burlap rope and frayed it, and then there's the zip tie, if you can see that right there. Zip tied to the material. And it's kind of ratted out and dirtied it, and I've spray painted it. And then I also do the arms. You want to make sure you do the arms near your wrists. This jacket I'm still kind of working on bits and pieces. But that's the arms. And you want to make sure you get the shoulder areas and anywhere that you think you might be exposed while you're sniping. So that's how I make my ghillie suits. Please feel free to comment or ask if you have any questions.